Hi, I'm Jenny from Bolton, and before discovering the Gupta Program, I was like, I can imagine a lot of people very lost and confused at what was going on. I couldn't focus at all. I feel like I've had very little quality of life for them few years. The more I got worked up about not knowing what was going on, the worse I felt, which now makes sense. So it just things just getting worse and worse and worse. I felt very difficult to even talk to my friends. Just couldn't function properly, and had no energy, and was just basically in bed all the time for the first few years. Since discovering the Gupta Program, it has given me a massive improvement in quality of life. The meditations, the whole, even just understanding what was going on was such a massive relief. And following the meditations, I found it hard at first to do that because it was against the whole way that being an adrenaline junkie as I was, even though I believed in the Gupta Program, I found it so hard to stick to because it was against my nature, but I persevered with it, and the benefits were not just changing to my condition, but life-changing, the way that my outlook and the way I treat myself and the way that I live. And now, just from doing that, I'm able to see my friends. I'm not 100% on the flow of my conversation. It might be obvious now, but believe me, before this, it was just like, I'm trying to give you an example. I'd say a few words like that, there'd be a massive gap. I'd say another few words. It was so frustrating. It made it not worth. It wasn't worth socialising. So to come from that to where I'm at now, okay, I can't go to all-night raves, anything like that, but to have that ability to socialise again took me out of a very dark and isolating place. And also the energy levels in general are so much better. Doing things slower, one of the things about doing everything slower by 30% or 50% has changed even the enjoyment of everyday life, feeling a contented feeling from just being. I could go on and on and on about all the different things, but I'd better not do that. So I'm just sticking to the very key factors of how dramatically it's improved me personally, and I believe that it can for everybody, and just nothing but positive things to say about it. So I very much appreciate your programme, Ashok.
Great, that's brilliant. And can I just ask you, what were your symptoms like when they were at their worst? What was your functioning ability?
My glands were constantly swollen, just not enough energy. I tried to do a colouring book. I couldn't even colour one page in. It's as though there was like someone had pulled the plug. I can't actually do anything apart from just lie around, listen to. I think, what did I do to keep me? Oh yeah, audiobooks. I used to get audiobooks, and there's an app where you can turn the speed right down. I had to listen to audiobooks at 50% of the speed because I couldn't handle even listening to an audiobook at a regular speed. So that's how I kept sane. So to try and put that across about my symptoms, I just mentally, physically, it was just that I wasn't functioning at all in any way, and I couldn't watch anything either. So everything was affected: vision, hearing, everything was very sensitive, light. So to go from that, It was, yeah. If I did try and have do a little bit of something, anything, conversation, or go out perhaps for 40 minutes, even I tried at first, glands would swell up, I'd feel so fluey, and it felt just very disheartening that these symptoms were just relentless, and I didn't know why they were there, because they said glandular fever only lasts 6 months to a year. So in the second year of this, it was just basically all them, and headaches and muscle aches.
And what are you able to do now that you weren't able to do before?
So now I look after my friend's dogs as something as my distraction. It's a nice distraction because I'm at home, I'm not able to go back to work yet. I look after their dogs and I take them around the block on walks, sometimes further. That was out of the question before. Going to a gig, I've been to music gigs, which would have been way too much before. Standing up to watch a band. I still have to make sure, with the pacing, not doing too much the day before or after, and getting on trains. I remember that it felt immensely scary, just the idea of getting on a train, which from somebody who I've travelled all over the world on my own, backpacking, I remember feeling getting the train to Manchester was too much, and now I've got the train to London. I feel like I'd be fine with public transport. Because of the techniques I've learned, I feel I can do that. So going to house parties, I can go now. I say if I need to meditate, I can just go in the spare room, but I can do them things I have. So it's socially and physically, mentally as well. I can think a lot clearer. Like I said, it's not quite perfect yet, but I know I will get there. Feeling, and because of these things, feeling more like myself, because when all the symptoms were there, you feel like a shell of who you really are, and that's quite disconcerting.